Hello and welcome to the latest Wealth and Wisdom podcast, available on YouTube and all of the podcasting platforms. This is Michael Loftus from Wealth and Wisdom TV, where education is the key to a successful financial future. If this is your first time here, I'm a practicing financial advisor, have what is called a registered investment advisory firm, which means I do act as a fiduciary, always putting clients' interests first. A big part of our firm is educate. You can see that. Above that is communicate, right? Educate and communicate, cornerstone of our firm. That is why we do these videos. We also offer monthly market updates. I'll put my latest up here in a link. If it's podcast, it'll be in the description below. Okay? The podcast comes in the second week of the month, and then we'll generally put out an educational video as well, and also some live events in between, okay? So hopefully you do enjoy this, and we appreciate if you would subscribe. So this month, let's start off with quotes of the month. We have, accomplishing the impossible means only that the boss will add it to your regular duties moving forward. Doug Larson. Reminds me of my corporate days, that's for sure. Hopefully you got a chuckle out of that one. All right, so I got a couple things going on right now. We have, Secure Act 2.0, couple key provisions that everyone should be aware of. Let's get started. First one up, RMD age, required minimum distribution. Have an IRA at some point. They want to force that distribution because, of course, the government wants some of those taxes, but it's gotten a little more favorable, okay? Used to be 70 and a half, went to 72 in 2020, and now for those born between 51 and 58, it is age 73. Sorry, no grandfather clause. Now, if you're born after 1959, 75. So that is pretty big. It allows you to delay those distributions. Now, there's also some tax consequences, estate planning, legacy planning issues you got to look at, but it does give you an opportunity. Have a lot of clients that don't need it. They just take it, roll it into another investment account. So some good opportunities here for you. Special catch-up provision. If you're over the age of 50, you have the ability to do what's called a catch-up provision, okay? 2023, we're up to $7,500. And anyone between the age of 60 and 63 in the year 2025 will go to $10,000. Pretty strong. So you've got your normal contribution. If it's an IRA, a simple IRA, SEP IRA, this can be above and beyond. Allows you to really plow some additional dollars in there. It used to be a three-legged stool: pension, Social Security, investments. Well, most of us don't have pensions, so this is a great way to put away some additional dollars. 529 to a Roth conversion. Very cool. So a 529 is a college plan you can put money into, grow tax deferred, take out tax free, for higher education, high school, college. All right, have a lot of clients have done that for their grandchildren, Now, there are cases, I've seen this quite a bit, where they have not used it, didn't go to college, you now have the ability to convert to a Roth, which is a really, really cool benefit, So if it's not used, you can have them stay focused on saving and using that money for the long term. Changes the company 401k match. So this is for a lot of people today are burdened with educational costs and loans. Any money you put towards a student loan can be included on a company match at your company if they do a company match. So that is really cool for those young people out there. This is a way where you can still put money aside while you're paying off those student loans, Next up, tax time. Everyone's least favorite time of the year. So we've gathered some top tax questions for retirees as we head into this year. So let's get started with, what are the tax implications of withdrawing money from my retirement accounts? Mentioned a second ago, any monies coming out of your retirement account, IRAs, not Roth, IRAs, 401ks are going to be taxed at ordinary income, meaning whatever your tax bracket is, okay? Your effective tax rate. Generally, most of the custodians that hold these funds force you to do 10% minimum, 5% state, depending on your state. So always taxes coming out on retirement plans. Will my Social Security benefits being taxed? Now, that is a bigger question / issue, but the good news is, did a video on that. I'll put a link below for both YouTube and podcast subscribers, okay, to make sure you are aware of that. So you have a certain threshold, has been some changes, but if you're taking over that threshold, there's a calculation that will come about to show the taxation. Again, it is confusing too much for a short video or a podcast. So make sure you check with your advisor or your tax professional on that. How will my tax change if I decide to move from one state to another? Well, there's two ways to look at it. Let's say if you have a certain investment, that investment being municipal bonds. In states where you bought that municipal bonds, you're getting that tax-free. If you move to another state, that now becomes taxable. Now, as far as other tax situations, okay, most states that collect income tax also tax your retirement savings accounts, IRAs, etc. Could be pensions, but it is specific state to state. So I can't go over all of those. Just do a quick Google. As you're retiring, as you're getting close to retirement, I'm sure you should be working with your financial and/or tax professional to prepare for those type of things. Especially, you can have this done via a financial plan, which of course we do. Link below. Are there any tax benefits for making charitable contributions in a retirement account? Absolutely, okay? A couple years ago, with the original act there, the Secure Act of 2020, you can now, if you're taking RMD, if you started RMD, required minimum distribution, as we said, a lot of clients don't need that, you can go direct from your IRA to a charity. Now, the key is, has to go from the custodian to the charity. It cannot come to you, then to them. So we do that all the time. Clients call us. We set it up online. Our custodian's fidelity automatically goes out. So you really get a couple benefits there. One, because of taking away itemized deductions, you now have standard deductions, good amount, you don't really get that charitable deduction anymore. So this is a way that you can take money from your IRA and you're basically reducing your taxable income, because instead of taking $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in taxes, that's going to go to the charity. Benefit for you, benefit for the charity, okay? Good one here. What are the tax considerations for gifting money to children and grandchildren, okay? Well, first off, it has gone up to $17,000 per gift in 2023, okay? In totality, meaning your lifetime, it's $12.92 million. So that's quite a bit. So when you look at it, the tax consideration, you can do $16,000. So if you're going to gift it to your daughter, son-in-law, $16,16. 2 kids, another $16,16, okay? So right there, that's $64,000. No problem. What that does is it reduces your overall estate. So they benefit, you benefit as well. Now let's say you do $50,000. Generally, you're not going to get a tax on that, okay? But it will count towards your overall exclusion ratio of that $12.92 million. Again, talk with your tax and financial professional. Are there any tax issues with starting a small or side business in retirement? Well, sure, there's potentially a bunch, okay? Some positives, you could get some deductions, home office deductions, car, whatever. If you have a home office, the percent of that office within your house. So there are a lot of deductions you can take advantage of. Now, it could also raise your tax base, your income tax base. You want to think about that. We talked about Social Security earlier. Can it affect taxation of your Social Security? We have a program that does tax analysis, so we could plug that in and do some future projections to see what that would look like. So again, there are some good examples of reducing with some deductions, but depending on what you make, There also could be an impact on your overall tax rate and taxation on Social Security. If I take out a reverse mortgage, are there any tax concerns? Well, a couple things. One, this is not a good time to do a reverse mortgage. I don't do them, obviously, personally. It's not the business I'm in. Have had a couple scenarios over the years where it's good for some clients. But recently, with rates being so high, very difficult. Have not had a client recently, did not make sense. So therefore, we did not do it. So tax considerations, none that I'm aware of, okay? Again, because of losing itemized deduction standard, you're not going to lose that. So I'm not aware. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, okay? All right, let's wrap this up. Mailbag. Who do we have today? First up, we have Emily. I am 60 years old, probably retiring in 5 or 6 years. Should I start converting as much as my IRA to a Roth as I can? Depends. I'm not a big Roth conversion person. I do have the software to go through that and see if it makes sense, okay? But a couple reasons. One, you got a lot of taxes you could potentially have to pay on that. So where I have found that it's worked in the past is somebody who had a lot of losses, deductions, mostly rental properties, where we could offset some of those gains with some of the losses, etc. So it just depends, right? But I've said this a few times. Check with your tax professional, your advisor. Again, I've got software. We go through it with our clients who want to go through it. And I haven't seen it work a lot of times, especially after market, when the market's been down a little bit here. So next up, Michael, how you doing? Inherited some money from my mom when she passed away last year. I just got a letter telling me that I have to withdraw some money from this account. What's that all about? I thought I didn't have to wait until my 70s. Well, this sounds like you inherited an IRA. So rules have changed. We used to have what was called a decedent IRA or stretch IRA, and you could continue it on for a very long time. Still have to take some distributions, but rules have changed. Okay, now you have what's called the 10-year rule. Once you inherit that IRA, you have 10 years to deplete that account. So, got to be aware of that. Also, I've said this many times, do some tax planning around that, okay? Last up, we have Olivia. My income will be different once I retire in a few months, so I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do about taxes. Should I be making estimated payments every quarter? How do I know how much I should be paying since I'll be in a different tax bracket? Well, a couple things. I'm not an accountant. I cannot give tax advice. We do tax planning. There is a difference, okay? But as I said a few times, I'm repeating myself a lot today, we've got software to walk through that, to plan out. I think a lot of people, and I tell them, as you retire, you're going to be surprised what your net number is now, because all those deductions are gone, right? Your 401k deductions, your healthcare deductions, insurance deductions, whatever the case might be, right? And you're in a lower tax bracket, so depending on where that money's coming from, Social Security, pension, investments, right? So the bottom line is another reason for having a financial plan done absolutely in advance before you retire, so you can forecast out. Financial plans are living, breathing. They get updated, but before you retire, it'll make sure your numbers look good. It'll look at your taxes, look at your income, and make sure you're going to be on target. So, hope you enjoyed today's episode. This is Michael Loftus for the Wealth and Wisdom Podcast, and of course available on YouTube. Thanks for watching. See you next time.